Commissioner Smith, a few months ago, you raised some questions about another county contract that was awarded by the commissioners, and you had some misgivings based on prior history of the company as to whether or not there would be repeated requests for amendments to the contract. Have the commissioners followed that at all? And how's that going along? Refresh my memory on the
change orders that he was a little bit by a considerable amount.
Right.
Okay. And the references were that the company did good work, except they always had a lot of change orders.
Right.
So we had the first change order come through, and we asked Grant to go over and take a look, and we were able to knock that down considerably and get it in line. And there was a piece of it, and we had also given instructions, and in the contract was to, before any changes get made, that had to come before this board and get approved. And we found that there was $4,000 worth of changes in that first request that did not get approved and it were already done, and we did not approve that. We let that go, but that's them. They're on them. So
they have to absorb the cost on that, right?
Somebody does.
Okay.
Not us. I mean,
Okay.
Between the architect and the contractor, that's
Okay.
up to between them. I thought I was pretty adamant about our position as far as needing to see change orders before they get done. And this $4,000 worth of work did not, and they tried to put it through in the first one, and we caught it, and we said, hasn't come before this board, so we're not going to approve it.
Okay.
You're talking about the auditor's office?
Yes, so we're holding true to our word.
What was that $4,000 in work that was done without your authorization?
It was panels of, window panels within the area over there removed, and
They just
their
went ahead and did the work, and we're going to bill you?
I mean-
They hadn't gotten your approval for it?
Yeah.
Correct.
Did they do it on their own initiative, or did a county official or ask for those changes? I mean, not the commissioner. I'm talking about maybe a department head.
that you would have to ask Alan Harold.
Was Alan Hill consulted on those changes?
You would have to ask him.
Okay, but if this board was not, and you made it clear that for this project, that you want all change, and you have to approve, I mean, the ultimate authority to approve change orders is with this board, right?
The ultimate approval is with this board.
And even though it's another elected official?
Yes.
Correct, because it's our building.
Right.
And so we made it very clear. Alan Harold said.
Yeah, Harold was here when, right.
Thumbs up with it. He said, in fact, it's in the contract, and he was all in favor of that. The initial change order was somewhere in the neighborhood of 64,000. Okay, and he might have the paperwork on that too. Alan would be. And the final change order after review was 13,388. So it was a considerable difference between what they requested and what they got.
Was that the change order where Alan Harold, he wanted to get more data ports, he wanted to get some more wall configuration or something? Was that that one?
There may have been some of the things that he would have liked to seen happen, but when Brant went over there and took a look at it, they were able to come up with, some of that was compromises to where yeah, you're right, we really don't need to do it this way, we can do it that way.
What were like 2 or 3 things that they wanted that was part of the 64,000 that got cut out?
What all were the things that got cut out?
Yeah, what are like 2 or 3 examples of that?
I think some of the doorways that they were looking at putting in, and you're right, some of the cabling, that he was going to do additional cabling, I think they omitted.
So they cut that down?
Yes.
Okay.
From my understanding.
And they got down to 13,000. I mean, this was like about 3 or 4
13,388.
weeks. What? I'm sorry.
13,388.
And this wasn't this 3 to 4 weeks ago? I think?
Yeah,
something
yeah, but he
like
just threw
You
it.
just asked about it.
But yeah, Martin just brought it up today. So.
Okay, so and when did you hear about that $4,000 in unauthorized work?
Well, that came in the day of our meeting, and I caught it and went to Brant and said, what is this additional? And we checked real quick. I called Alan. He was actually on his way back from a meeting he had in Alliance, and he informed us that work had already been done, and that It hasn't, we knew it hadn't come before us, so we changed the agenda before the agenda hit, at 1:30, and omitting that $4,000, figuring it's not ours to pay. If the work is already done, and it hadn't been approved by this board.
Which was that today?
No, this was about four weeks ago. Or
Okay, I might have missed that.
Who's,
You might have been running in pairs or something.
Yeah, I might.
I think, or whatever that was.
who sent the request in?
Well, the contractor sent.
Oh, the contractor. It didn't come from Harold then.
No.
Why didn't they submit that to you?
Why did they? It was a change order.
Doesn't that go to the auditor and the auditor sends it to this office?
Well, the way, they went through the normal routine, and it ultimately ends up.
Right.
But then why did you get the $4,000 request?
Why
Why did
did
they
we?
submit a request for $4,000 for work?
Again, you should ask that.
You don't know. You don't know.
All I know is it came in the 11th and a half hour, and it was caught.
Well, see, but the thing you hope
You're not going to pay that. You're not going to pay stuff that's not been authorized in advance.
I guess they wanted to do it on their own time. I don't know why. It was very clear that before you do anything over there, outside the scope of the work you were contracted to do, you need to clear it before this board.
But you want this message conveyed to any company that does business with Stark County. Is that right?
We are watching. We've got to watch it. That's what we were hired to do, is to watch the taxpayers' dollars. And so, like today, with what went on, I personally went down there to the IT center. I'm kind of one of those guys. I got to kick the tires and see it myself. And seeing all this, it made sense to me because I have run into situations somewhat like this before in my other life, and so I could understand it a lot better than someone trying to explain all the different connections and everything over the phone. So